And this last question is more like a curiosity, but
then we'll give you a frivolous answer.
Okay, I'll go for that. But I get it. When you know what you don't want, you more clearly know what you do want, and I'm wondering though, in the teachings, how about when you know what you do want, then you really know what you do want?
Well, you just said what we just said, only when we said it, we thought it was really, really new, and here you are saying it as if it's really, really new again.
Right.
But this is really, really good, because this is really, really what we were just talking about. In other words, because you knew it, the source energy part of you knows what you do want. That's part of why when you're focused upon the opposite of it, you know it so clearly. In other words, that you're right, that guidance works both ways. Because you are one who loves, when in any moment you find a reason not to love, oh boy, does that ever feel off, emphatically off, explicitly off, in great detail off. And because it's more off than it's been before, now you're launching a rocket that's more on than ever before. But you're right. You're right. We can never say know what you don't want so you know what you do want without saying know what you do want so you know what you don't want so you know what you do want so you know what you don't want. In other words, this is the eternal contrast that is always working for all of us, you see. So many creators and so many inventors, so many artists gathered here today. And don't you just love thinking about contrast? If there was not light and absence of it, could you see anything? If there was not shadow, would light make any difference? If you never felt hungry, would food really be that great of an advantage to you? If you never got a little tired, would rest ever be meaningful? In other words, the contrast, but we want you to sharpen your awareness of this contrast in a way of realizing that it's a focusing mechanism. It focuses thought, it focuses creation, it focuses beingness, you see. Jerry and Esther got off the ship the other day in Fort Lauderdale. They'd been on for several days with friends and us. And they got off into what just felt like such a beautiful day. It just felt like well-being everywhere they looked. And a car took them to the airport. And friends took their luggage, so they didn't have anything to drag along with them. And it just felt such ease and flow and well-being. And they walked to the Hertz counter, and the man seemed to meet them halfway across the airport. He came way out of his Hertz territory and ushered them to the gold board and said, "Do you see your name?" And Esther said, "I do." And he said, "Follow me." And he led her to their car and pushed the button and opened the door. And she sat in the car and she looked at Jerry and she said, "Can anything be more comfortable than this?" They programmed their Garmin where they were going. And as they left the Hertz lot, 3 people said, "This way, come this way, come this way." And the woman said, "Do you need directions?" And Esther said, we are headed toward Boca. And she said, "Get in the center lane and follow the sign to 95. And Esther said, "I love you." It's like everything is ease and flow. The car is so comfortable. They're in love with life. The navigational system is telling them what to do. They come into the hotel. The people are waiting. They're beckoning them into the well-being, into the comfort of their room. Esther said, "This is just going to follow us for the rest of our life, isn't it? This well-being, this concierge in the sky that is out there pre-paving, that is orchestrating, that is taking care of details." In other words, they have an incredible staff who really does the booking and the schlepping of bags. We are not for a moment implying that there is not plenty of action that is involved, but what we are acknowledging is Esther's acknowledgement and Jerry's acknowledgement of the well-being that is surrounding. And when you get into a mode where you are noticing the well-being of your life experience, noticing the good of it, noticing the good of it, not noticing the bad of it in order to find the good of it, noticing the good of it, noticing the good of it because the good of it is surrounding you, practicing the vibration of well-being, claiming, staking your flag right in the middle of the vibration of well-being. What the universal forces, what law of attraction, what everything that surrounds you then seems to know is this is who you are. People who don't know, when Jerry and Esther came off the ship as they were coming into the baggage claim, there were about 500 or 600 people with them that had come on the cruise, and many hundreds that were not with them. But as they came through the baggage claim, the crowd got excited to see them and began applauding, and Esther and Jerry acknowledge that, well, they know who we are. We've just spent all these days together. It is not surprising that they would recognize us. But everywhere they went, it was as if the applause kept coming. Not because they are known for who they are, but because their vibration is emanating a signal, and law of attraction is rendezvousing them with their highest good, 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 you see. That's what you intended when you came forth into this physical body. Yes, you knew there would be variety. Yes, you knew there would be contrast. Yes, you knew there would be disappointments and even things that you do not want. But you knew with every fiber of your non-physical beingness, with every vibration of that which is you, you knew that you are pure, positive energy, that you are goodness from the very core of your being to the very extension of all that you are. And everything in the universe is vying for, is conspiring for your personal, satisfying well-being, you see. And once you begin to know that, once you begin to take score of that, once you begin to acknowledge that, once you begin to appreciate that, once you begin to deliberately reverberate that in your vibration, then what happens is you remember who you are. You remember why you've come. And it's all for the joy of expansion.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Now what? What is the time?
About 18 more minutes.
What could possibly be left undone? Really? Is there anything that we have not chewed to death? Something left undone, really? Really? Something left undone?